Bokuto, Shit Talker Blake. Yesterday, wow, was a day, wow. It threw me out. However, my daughter got back on track, and I was saying that every time she plans something, you know, the adjustment bureau comes in and it changes some shit, you know? So, yesterday morning, well, this shit has started with my daughter for a long time. My daughter also needs to get into studying and knowing about herself and why they are doing this to her. I mean, I can tell her what I've studied on her, you know. Studied on my children. I know who my children are. I know who I am, and I give them a little bit. And some of my grandbabies, I know who they are too. Now, I got on yesterday, you know, right after everything happened, you know, because it's like, well, you know, today is my new year. And I do set goals. I set goals all the time. I did not get to complete this one, and I know that I would not. I know it. But I still work my ass out to try to get it. But no, I did not. That's cool. I can always do it another day, you know, because they always slow me down, but they never, ever, ever stop me. So, they want my daughter to cancel an event that she has considered. And this event is, it already and has turned out to be the best event ever that my daughter ever planned. She's like the party planner or something, you know. Call her; she will plan you a party, and you will know. What you will see, you will know. She is the party planner. I mean, she can put that shit together so very well. And she makes the cakes too. She used to buy the cakes. Not anymore. She makes them. So they thought to stop it a day before her birthday. So my daughter said, last year around this time, February 4th, there was a girl. Her and my daughter were friends since the girl was like 17, you know. And no, the girl was maybe 15 or something like that. That's why I tell people they gotta tell their own stories, because you know what's going on. I only know bits and pieces, and sometimes I get all that shit confused, because to me it's just drama. It's just the adjustment bureau coming in, adjusting shit to fuck your life up. That's all it is. To drive you crazy, to stop you from doing the things that make you feel good inside on this dumbass planet. You know, because you know these things are happening to people around you. It even happens to you, but you still want to enjoy the part of your child that you can enjoy. So now my daughter plans this event. She's planned many, but this one, it is going off with a bang. This one, it is going off with a bang. So this is why they decide to kill Tim's mom. And see, certain people, you let them in your life and around their name, they can fuck you up with someone else's name. They fucked me up with Jenkins' name. You know? However, I was supposed to come in the name, because it hooks me to Inky. So he was supposed to come in that name, and his name had to be Donald, because he is a dumb one. He just does not know it. Not the dumb one the pink man has put in. I might know a dumb one who is a pimp. That is not a dumb one. A dumb one is someone who has a scepter. You know, the little, like, golden cane or something, or a pole you stick out. And when you stick it out, that person can talk to you. That's a dumb one. And remember, we had a dumb one in Chicago, a little young pimp brother, you know. He was Don Juan. He was I remember him as a little male guy, melanated. You know, he was not fat. He wasn't tall. You know, he was little thing. More so, I would say a petite man. They called him Don Juan. He had all these holes. I know that came out too. It was a program. It came out. There was a movie called Sweetback, a black movie, and we used to go to the movie house. You know, I forget the name of it. We called it the Rat Patrol. That's why I forget the name of it, because we called it the Rat Patrol. Because if you, you know, the rats, they had rats, but it was ours. It was in our community, and it was the so-called Negroes, you know, theater, you know, and it had rats in it, but we would go anyway. So Frankie J decided we could not go see Sweetback. You know, we could see Yidney and a lot of things, but we could not go see Sweetback. And then they came out with another movie. It was Coffee. We were able to go see that. And then there was another one. Oh, Freddy's dead. Dun, 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 dun. That's what I said. Shut your mouth. It's not Sweetback. Well, whatever. Anyway, he was a pimp. Coffee. She was like a undercover cop for the police. You know who she reminds me of today? The girl that was with the Black Panthers. She bust her ass out of jail. Well, they bust her out of jail, so-called. And then now she lives in Cuba, so they say. I don't know where she lives. That's why I say so. They say I don't know anything about her. You know, but what they say, which means I don't know anything about her when it comes to what they write. Put it like that. Yeah, that's what Coffee reminded me of her. Coffee would do a flip and show her draws. Do a flip, jump on a car and show her draws. It was a movie first, but it was not called Coffee. I think it was called Coffee when they came on TV. Anyways, but we could not go see Sweetback. But we did go to see Shaft. That's what it was. Shaft. You know, Freddy's dead. That's what I said. I can hear the music and the beat. The words are very faint. However, these started the pimp and drug thing and to the melanated man. Just like as they said it was the devil's vinyl, and they went to do all the research, you know, and they went into the chemicals and vinegar and all that shit, because this is the shit they put on that record. And that's how come when they play that record backwards, Stairway to Heaven, it was worshiping the evil ones. But they told us they said devil, but they worship the evil ones. Then the same thing they do in movies, kinda, you know. When I was younger, you know, like I could have been 9, and I'm not for sure. There were you know, the elder brothers, you know, like they have children and shit though. They were talking about the newspaper and saying how the newspaper has subliminal messages on the newspaper, you know. And as I got older, you know, it seemed as though a lot of people knew that, you know. But a lot of people didn't know that. So I knew that. But the TV also has subliminal messages, you know. So when they begin to play the pimps and the drugs in our communities, you know, in the word community is internet technology, them niggas begin to use that shit through the movies. Maybe even TV, but I would say the movies first. Because none of these things you really could watch on TV, you know, like To Catch a Thief or I Spy, you know, and stuff like that, you know. but not actually pimps. And it didn't get bad until they showed those movies in our community. And thinking about TV, every time there was a black man on TV, he was either a snitch or a drug addict or a pimp or just a bum or one who just grinned in front of a massive face all the time. But that one was already there. But I know that it changed something. Because all of a sudden, all the girls wanted to be whores. All the girls wanted to be prostitutes. I mean, this was, we were young. I mean, young. I don't even think I was 10 yet. Maybe 11. I'm not for sure. But all of a sudden, all the girls wanted to be prostitutes. And then the boys wanted to be pimps. Next thing we know, there was Don Juan. Don Juan, I think, was younger than me. Maybe we were the same age. I was just so far mature from him that maybe I think he's younger than me. So they came into our communities using internet technology through their movies and then the TV. And this is how they hook us, This morning, since I had a goal, they fucked it all up. I just said, oh, well, I'm just going to go with something else. I doesn't even know. Just let that shit flow. I got up, I don't do this as soon as I get up. As you saw, I play a game, and I do some folk clothes. I'm going to do something, so that I do not start this as soon as I open my eyes, go do my personal, sit down and start this. Oh hell, fuck no! They will not take over my life like that. They have taken over my life. I'm like a robot. I was telling my son that yesterday. No one even sees my sorrow, and no one even sees my pain. I said, no one can tell. I am like a fucking robot. I wake up in the morning, I go deal with my personals. I said, I sit in the same spot damn near all day long. I have to get up and stretch. I can only sit there for so long, and then I have to get up, because if I do that, it's like they will hit me. I kind of figured it out, because they fuck with you so much, you become sensitized to this shit. So you kind of know, oh, okay, I've been sitting here, 45 minutes? Oh, okay, get up. And then I'm walking around. And yesterday, when we were going through all of that, what happens to Tim happens to my daughter, because they are one. I am in this house, I see it. It happens to my daughter. Now it happens to me. So now you have taken someone out of our family. And I didn't know her well, because they have families, but family are not so tight anymore, And then his baby sister came, and whatever family that was tight with him, oh, she fucked that shit up, because the baby sister, she is the one who is selling her parents for money. And Tim Sr., it is his sister who is selling also for, as my daughter says, chip and dip, However, I did talk to both of them, but not on video, because it was tender. I don't want to do him like that. And so I told them both, they need to make a video and let this shit be known. Even it's to them, it's just the sister that is doing it, and they live in Florida. Until the mom took sick, and she got a little more sicker than she was, and all of them went over to see her, and the baby girl came, and she started a rift between everyone and everything. She just came in, and she is the handler. They are using her as the handler, and that's what I'm saying. They always have to have someone as a handler, but the handler also has a handler. However, you can handle any sense of a way. You can only handle that person's handler if you put the handler on blast. Her handler, I would say her handler is Kenny or Kenneth or whatever his name is. It is her husband, or now her ex-husband, but however, sometimes they say her husband, sometimes they say her ex-husband, so I get confused. And we'll ask you 1,000 questions. Sometimes I just don't want to ask a question because I ask so many, And then when I ask a question, it seems as though I'm breaking into a thought. So I just let them talk, and that's why they should do their own video. And I'm doing the video because the cup, it ran over into my cup. And my cup just poured out all on the table, on the floor, all out the door, down the stairs, in the swimming pool, in the streets, everywhere. And no one gave a fuck. They just all walked through whatever was in my cup and kept going. Because today is my day also. But I cannot do what I wanted to do. However, I cannot do what I want to do today. Because I said they always slow me down, but they cannot stop me. However, my daughter is still moving forward. My daughter woke up one morning, not like yesterday morning, but the other morning, and she said, I had a dream that I was kidnapped right before this thing I am doing, because I don't want to say what she's doing right now. She said, I just kept trying to get back to what I was doing. She said, I was not trying to not even get back to my children. I was trying to get back to what I was doing. She said someone kidnapped her. I knew what it was. It was the death of Tim's mom. That day also, like if you are planning an event, the closer it gets to it, you have to make sure you have this, that, and everything. So they are taking away some of her days. She cooks and everything. So they are taking away her time, And that was her kidnapping. And then yesterday, as my entities sent her up here by herself so I can get some information of what is going on. She began to tell me about a dream she had about there was something that went on the day before. I'm going to try to get that video from her, and she told me about that. I'm not going to tell you everything she said, but in the dream, she was in a car. She said she was driving forward, and whatever it was that she said it was chasing her. She said she decided to go backwards, and she was kind of scared because whatever was chasing her, it was behind the car. She put the car in reverse and went backwards, and she said then it began to chase the front of the car. She was going backwards. I told her then. I did not tell her about the other dream, but that one, I said, yeah, they're trying to drive you crazy. And they're trying to make her go backwards to not deal with what she plans to do. So they always the Adjustment Bureau. I seem to always miss that word, adjustment. The Adjustment Bureau, they're in our lives. Me and my daughter, and my sons and Tim's and his mom, they're in your life too. Whether you think they are or not, or believe they are or not, they are in your life too. They change shit around. And even if your life is going oh so grand, look at the people around you. Really open your eyes. Look at the people around you. Are people around you becoming disabled in some form or way? Will they have to take medicine? Because if they are, the Adjustment Bureau is working in your life. And more so, if you are the one moving forward, they can use you as a handler. If you do not know, you will not even know that you are handling other people around you. You will not even know that you are making the people around you sorrowful, because they will not tell you, because they cannot. Because when they begin to talk to you, you begin to holler and scream, as though you're the only one who knows how everything goes. And 9 times out of 10, you are the younger, wanting to control the oldest, because that is not how the program goes. This page here, I was researching something that I was dealing with this morning. I'm going to come right back with that because we are dealing with satanic forces, and Satan is the satellite. There's someone that programs Satan. It is Lucifer. And those are the people who are programming the machines, the people who make the programs, and those whose names are on the patents for the programs. And I'm going to do this, and then school is about to begin. So I'll wait for school to end. For school to actually begin, because then it gets quiet around here. When school starts, it gets quiet. But while everyone is getting ready for school, it is a lot of noise, And this is one thing I was looking up. It had this word there. It says wife, and then it says neuter. I wonder if this is neuter, like you neuter a cat or a dog. And it's funny, the word wife turned into the word bitch. And now you wonder why they call you a bitch. You wonder why they call you bitch. Now you wonder why they call you bitch, because neurolinguistic programming, if you do not know what a word means, but you use it all the time, wife. You see? W-I-F-E. It is a noun. Also, in this word is also 13. I found out what that meant when I was doing a montage, but I forget. I even forget where they use it at, what state. And this is, I can't remember, so fuck it. But in this word there is the number 13, and it's also we, and what else? Wi-Fi. But I look at this as Frankie, because Frankie J has the F for frequencies, and I was born to Frankie J. She was the wife of Jenkins. So I look at that like that. Also, a Frankie is the IE, which gives me a 13 to let me know, I come from a melanated female. Although back in the day, before they begin to fill her up with pills, because my mom is also in the medical program. They cut on her. She's a Frankenstein too. I guess that's why her name is Frankie. She's a Frankenstein too. So, yes, in the IE, it also helps me with the St. John 1-on-1 game, because it is example, and it is also a 13 to let me know. Although she was bright as fuck and she could pass for white, she never did. She was a melanated female. But I will get to this. It does not make sense. Really, it will not make sense for me to go through it right now. I just saw that wife turns into bitch, and then I can hear Tupac. I wonder why they call you bitch. You wonder why they call you bitch. You wonder why they call you bitch. You wonder why they call you bitch. Because you allow them to call you a wife. Because we are speaking a Babylon language. We do not know the words. When you go to school, they only give you up to a 4th grade definition. And I found even people who are in college, they have a 4th grade definition of words. So they keep you on a so-called 4th grade level dealing with them. Wife today is now a bitch. A man will call his wife a bitch. Oh, that's my bitch. And what comes after that? German. Like a German shepherd, like a fucking dog. See, you have bitch, and then a German shepherd. And the Germans are the shepherds today, although you do not see them as a German man. You will not see the Jew as a German man, but he is. You will not see those in Florida that they call crackers. You do not see them as German, but they are a German. And this word here is an English word, but it comes from other words, but it is Proto-Germanic. See, it also will give them an income. you know. And here it says bits. Soft and somewhat from earlier sense of bits, and guess what else it is? See this word? Pudenda? This is it says a lost example linguist of Central Asia. This is an Asian word for vagina. Also, the word that they call the so-called Indian female, that word also is a word for vagina. So it tells you, you know, a woman is preserved in the wife with the woo or wives' tales and everything. And here it says a tradeswoman. A tradeswoman. So you need to know what trade is. And the word trade is also raised of humble rank and fishwife. Of humble rank and fishwife. By 1883, 100 years before I woke up to knowing who I was 100 years before then. I woke up in 1983. March of 1983 at that. And it says by the 1883 as passive partner in a homosexual couple. Wife swapping is attested, which means this is NASA testing, you know, because they did the thing, you know, the sex experiment and shit. Why the fuck do you need to experiment on other people's sex life? Something's wrong with your fucking brain cell. Always have it. This is 4 years before I was born. So, the tradeswoman of humble rank and fishwife is that a passive partner in a homosexual couple. And now, see, homosexuals, what do? They sodomize. That's the only thing they can do is sodomize, right? And that's why now you are a wife, or you can be the girlfriend. You know, today people really don't get married, but they still will use the word wife. I know I did, but my dumb ass, I didn't.